Welcome to all of our panelists. Welcome to all of the people who are watching us on LinkedIn Live today. I am Tricia Meyer. I'm the Executive Director of the PMA, also tiny vested interest because I own a cashback site that also does coupons. So a little bit in the realm that we're talking about today as well. While I'm having everybody on the panel introduce themselves, we'd also appreciate it for those of you who are watching. I'm signaling here like you all know that these are the people that are watching on LinkedIn and these are our panelists. So as I'm gesturing all throughout this webinar, you'll understand why. Those of you who are on this monitor who are watching us today, drop a quick line of who you are and what you're hoping to get out of this. So I will be conveying your questions to the panel as we go throughout. So let us know, like, are you a coupon cashback deal site who's here to maybe just peep on your competitors or learn some interesting things that you could be doing? Are you on the agency side, the brand side, retailers, people who are representing maybe network representatives who are hoping to learn more just about the different business models and the way you can be optimizing? So the more that you tell us over here in this monitor, the more that we'll kind of be able to tailor our answers to the things that you're looking for today. So while you're introducing yourselves over here on LinkedIn, the panelists, we will start with the way you all are on my monitor. We'll start with Brooke.
Hi, thanks for hosting, Tricia. My name is Brook Schaaf. I've been in the affiliate space since 2000 when I got a start as an in-house affiliate program manager. I'm also a past agency owner and co-founder of FMTC, which is a enterprise level provider of coupon, including all deals and product feeds. So our core customer is an enterprise affiliate.
So if there's anyone who knows coupons and deals in the entire affiliate industry from the beginning of it to now, it's Brooke. So we're so excited to have you here today. Dylan.
Yeah, my name is Dylan Bertalli. I'm an account manager at PartnerCentric. I currently manage NBA League Pass, Fifth Third Bank, Fundera, Modify Health, DistroKid, and a few more. Also the founder of Earn and Trade, which is an app that allows users to make money testing free trials and offers and general deals. We've released the app on the Apple App Store for A/B testing a few weeks ago, which is pretty exciting. But it all started around 4 years ago, which really launched me into the world of affiliate and more importantly into coupons and deals, which has pretty much been my life since 2020, full time on it. So that eventually led me here to the PMA as the chair of the Coupons and Deals Council, which is an honor. So thank you very much for having me and appreciate y'all being here.
Thank you. Yes, we're excited to have Dylan managing the council, which we've just started having the last couple of months. So anybody out there in the PMA who wants to get into that council, reach out to me or Dylan, and we'll make sure you're part of that. Joe.
Hey, everybody. My name is Joe Coyle, and I work at Slickdeals, which is a social shopping platform that was founded about 25 years ago. It's a deal forum where people can post deals, comment on deals, vote on deals. And if they receive enough deals, enough votes rather, they go to the front page, which is where the majority of our traffic spends its time. Thanks so much for the PMA for hosting this, and I look forward to speaking more about deal sites.
And Joe, this might kind of be your fault that we're here today. In part, just coming out of us talking at, gosh, I don't even remember which the conference was, PLI, one of the affiliate summits, when you came to the table and you're like, oh, they're always putting the coupon and the deal sites together. I said, I know, we really need to help people understand the difference, don't we? And now a few months later, here we are helping everyone understand the difference. So thanks for that.
Thanks so much for hosting.
And Annie.
Hi, everyone. I'm Annie Mies. I am currently running an agency, Simpl-eCommerce, but got my start in affiliate as a loyalty publisher more than 15 years ago, and have been in the agency side now for about, the last 7 or so years. Primarily a brand marketer, working on CPG products.
And most importantly today, Annie has graciously volunteered to be our sponsor. So we're excited to have Simpl-eCommerce as our sponsor today. Annie, we appreciate not only you sponsoring this, but always being one of the biggest cheerleaders for the PMA in everything that we do, serving on our councils and representing us at the booth every time we have one. So thank you for all of that.
You do a great job.
Thank you. So we have lots of great people here. We've got people already starting to weigh in on the LinkedIn over here. So that's exciting. We will jump in. Just kind of by way of background, I pulled our stats from the last couple of PMA studies that we have done just to look at what we found in terms of sizing. And one of the questions that we were asking in that was affiliate channel spend. And so this came directly from the networks, kind of by their categories. And we found in 2018, the cashback side, 27%, coupon, 14%. So there was a total there of 41% spend between cashback, coupon, and deals. 2021, fast forward 3 years, those both increased. Cashback went up to 35, coupon went up to 16 for a total of 51 between the two of those. So obviously that is a huge chunk between those. That's 51% of ad spend in our industry in the last survey. And it showed that there was an increase during that time. It will be really interesting to see when, fingers crossed, we do our next survey in January, how things have changed even since then. But I think with it being such a huge chunk, it makes sense that we talk about it. And in talking about it, we have recently, Dylan had mentioned being the Coupons and Deals Council. They actually have a paper they're working on the benefits of working with coupons and deals sites. So keep your eyes open for that. That's going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks. But also we had a panel at Affiliate Summit East where we had Jim Nichols and Tara McCommons kind of do a debate about these types of sites and kind of putting them together, which today we're going to talk about why we shouldn't lump them together, but kind of putting them together and saying, okay, we have this data from the PMA that shows that ad spend is huge for these sites. And yet people talk a lot of crap about these types of sites. They get a bad rap a lot of times. Oh, it's not incremental. Oh, there's no value. Oh, it's less click and things like that. Why are they so popular if they get such a bad rap? How much of that is anecdotal? How much of it is data? And what we really got to the bottom of throughout that panel was, so these sites provide value. That's why for all the years that we've all been in this industry, these business models are still so key to the data, to the brands, because there is so much value there. But it comes down to understanding the business models, understanding when you're working with a coupon site, with a deal site, with a cashback site, the differences between those things, and then understanding what you're hoping to get out of it, and then how to best work with them. So that's kind of going to be our focus today. We're going to talk about what are the difference between the sites. Let's pull them apart instead of just linking together all of this data. Let's pull them apart and look at the actual sites. And those of you who work on these sites, those of you who work with these sites, talking about those differences. And then for all of our brands out there, for all of our agencies who are trying to figure out, especially going into Q4, how do I take what my goals are and really optimize by using these different sites? So let's kind of just stir at the start with kind of what are the basics. We're talking coupon, deal, cashback. Why do we lump them together? But what are the basics of each of the different ones? Dylan, you want to jump in?
Yeah. So I think that the short answer to this question is coupon, deals, and cashback sites are frequently lumped together or grouped together, mostly because of the shared goal of providing savings in some sort of way to consumers, causing the overlap in user bases. I think that's pretty much the short answer for it. But the two larger components of it would be audience crossover due to the similar value proposition. So the target audience for these have a significant overlap due to the fact that all buyers for these three models, for coupon, deal, and cashback, all have the same customer journey for the most part. And they all have one common thing in mind, which is saving money. And the only difference is that the core delivery is different between the three. And mostly, for the most part, I think that users don't see that on that end. It's mostly something on the back end that we see. But the other main component is that it's a complementary service, all three of them together, which I think really makes it emerge for the users to see on that end. So for example, like coupon, deal, and cashback sites all complement each other in the perspective that, say, a customer is going to find a deal for AirPods on Slickdeals, for example, and it's a Best Buy listing. And for that example, they have Honey's browser extension also installed to apply the coupon code. So the logical choice for the user is to use all two of those in that example. So to use both, and it's just not rationalized in a breakdown of the two. It's just lumped together as one tool for them to save money, which is what it all comes down to, in my opinion. And I think that there's a lot of different companies in the space that recognize that trend. Like I think Protégé is a good example of it, where they have a component in one of the three. So all of the subsidiaries that they have kind of hit that target market. So Swagbucks is cashback, for example, Coupon Causes coupon, and Tada is a deal site. So I think that they recognize that trend and they probably purchase each one of those subsidiaries and kind of take that lumping away from each other. But I think in short, it's mostly just based off of that customer journey, which is why it's all lumped together.
Brooke, you work with all these different types of companies. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I think Dylan phrased that well. We do work with all these companies. You know, the one of the important thing to remember is that the buyer's intent can vary, right? It might anchor toward like the products, like Dylan was talking about the I think the iPods. It could be around a brand store, in which case cash back or any other sort of form of reward is a very good anchor. People can just sort of like be shopping and browsing, and then coupons straddle the two quite well. And so it's worth noting that the, you know, they not only complement each other, but in a typical site will be under pressure to, I think, actually move toward cashback, the most sophisticated offering. I think that's actually reflected quite nicely in the stats that you showed, whether it's sort of like real cashback, you know, very generous, like a top cashback kind of claim in the marketplace, or something that's a little fuzzier, like say Honey Gold or the Capital One rewards.
And there are obviously a lot of different benefits to working with the different types of sites that we'll get into as we look more kind of from the agency perspective. But Joe, getting back to like when I mentioned that we talked about at the table, what differentiates deal? Why are deal sites and coupon sites not necessarily synonymous?
Yeah, thanks so much. So there's certainly a tremendous amount of value in all of those promotional methods. And Slickdeals actually has a coupon subdomain. We have an extension, and we have our deal forum. But the way that we look at it is where in the customer's journey are we going to interact with that customer? And so from our perspective, and we're trying to really meet the customer at all stages of that purchase path, most of our traffic is going to be found in the research phase, and that's where our deal site really comes in. And so 90% of our traffic is people coming directly to Slickdeals, and that's either searching for Slickdeals in a search browser or just typing in slickdeals.net and coming to the site. And that's window shopping, and that's going through the site and seeing a product that maybe they didn't necessarily know that they were going to buy. Maybe it's a set of Blu-rays that they really like. And now it's on sale, and they had no intention of buying these movies this morning, but it's $20 instead of 100. So they jump on it and they buy it, right? So that's the deal focus of our site. And then there's the coupon side of things where people knew that they were going to buy that set of DVDs, and they were looking around. It's their kid's favorite box set of Disney movies or whatever that they want to watch all the time. So they're specifically looking for that, but it's a little too expensive. And so they're going to look for a coupon code. And so they search for Disney coupon or whatever it might be, Best Buy coupon, and it pops up, and that's where you can find a coupon site. You find that coupon code, and that incentivizes you a little bit more to make that purchase. So in that way, we see that sort of distinction between deal and coupon. They do overlap quite a bit, but it's just where you're meeting the user.
And we don't have anyone here specifically cash back except for me, but Brooke, you kind of mentioned it before as you think being the more like a more sophisticated type of interaction there. So what would you say differentiates the cashback? Why would somebody look specifically for cashback or using the cashback extension as opposed to looking for the coupon?
Well, I think, you know, to go back to our comments, typically going to be a both and scenario. In fact, a lot of the coupon sites, you know, add the cash back component. And then we've also seen vice versa, because most of the players in the space sort of talk to us at one point or another. And anywhere there's shopping activity, you're likely to sort of see both. So the buy now, pay later guys, you know, years ago, they came into the space, then they became affiliates. With the banks, you have companies like Wildfire that will power those banks. And of course, you know, Wikibuy was acquired by Capital One and became Capital One Shopping. And then other third-party white label providers are kind of coming into the space. And so I think what a lot of it kind of rests with is what friction is the customer willing to deal with? Because some people love the shopping game. Some people hate it. Some people will never use coupons. They never sign up for like the discount gas at 7-Eleven or, you know, the grocery store discount or anything like that. So it's all really sort of like a question of segmentation. And if you want to reach this segment of buyers, which by all accounts is statistically very relevant and very desirable in terms of like household income, in terms of frequency of purchase, in terms of shopping cart size, et cetera, you're going to want to engage with these sites because this is the single best way to reach them. And then it's, you know, kind of just goes back to that mix. You know, the coupon sites would love to not do cash back because it's a huge portion of their margin, but the customers expect it, which I think is very similar to the credit card cash back and rewards.
And I found as a cashback owner, my customers are, they're price savvy. They expect a coupon, but it goes even beyond that, we only get commission if certain coupons are used. And so if we're sending our users to that site and there's a coupon on that site, or they're going to go look somewhere else for a coupon, if I don't give them a coupon, then it could negate my commission, which negates the cash back. So I almost have to have a coupon that I'm putting right in front of their face as soon as they click for the cash back, because otherwise they're tempted to use a coupon on that site or go look somewhere else for a coupon that then negates the cash back. So we're almost to a point where we don't have a choice as cash back, but to try to get the coupons in their face immediately, or we risk not getting the commission, and then not getting the commission means unhappy customer who didn't get the cash back. And the whole thing is just bad for us, bad for the brand, bad for the consumers. So Annie, looking at it from the agency side, you've represented a lot of brands. How can all of these sites distinguish themselves? I mean, we have 3 different types of sites that are all going after deals in different ways. And then within each of these different publisher types, we have hundreds, I don't know, maybe thousands of different ones.
I see the conversation touching on the consumer behavior, and the consumer is messy. I, as an agency, I represent my client brands to cash back as a loyalty. There are lots of different loyalty sites out there, whether you're getting miles or points or cash back. Each one reaches a different consumer target. So who's your brand's consumer target? Who do we want to talk to? Many times consumers will interact, as Brooke said, with several different publishers. They might be on Capital One Rewards or Slickdeals, and then engage with Honey. And by engaging with Honey, are they getting a coupon where they're able to increase the AOV and put 2 in their cart instead of just 1 because they feel better about it? You just trying to get down to the mentality of each individual consumer is a losing game, but to use each publisher in a holistic strategy and where to target is how I look at it for my clients.
Dylan, anything also kind of on that side of it? Anything that you specifically look toward?
I think Annie hit it pretty perfectly on the head. I mean, just what sets the different brands apart. I think a lot of the typical users of the websites themselves kind of distinguish it by knowing that they're either going to achieve a discount through a coupon or through cashback. So I think that the brands distinguish it themselves more than anything. But yeah, I think that's
another thought that just came to my head, and I'd love to hear the panel's feedback, is on loyalty sites, consumers are traditionally more loyal to themselves than they are to a brand. So if they read about a set of sheets that they think are fabulous and they really want to try them, and they go to earn their Delta Sky miles, and those sheets aren't available, but now she has it in her head that she wants to buy sheets, she may buy a competitive set because she's more loyal to earn her miles than she is to the sheets.
I had a member message me yesterday and said, "Hey, Tricia, what happened to these 2 inkjet places that you had on Sunshine Rewards? I want to buy ink and I don't know where to buy it now because the 2 that I normally shop through to get my cash back are gone." And so I immediately pointed her in the direction of other inkjet places that I saw that she'd be able to get cash back for, because for her, it was more important to get the cash back on her purchase than it was to buy that particular product in any specific place. So I think you're definitely right about that. Joe, without giving up the secret sauce, what would you say that Slickdeals does, kind of to set yourself apart from the other business models, but then also from other deal sites?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think it's too secret. It's definitely our community, right? And so what Annie was mentioning there as well is people want to discuss these products and they want to discuss brands. And so the community opens up the ability to do that. And so you can talk about, okay, here's a product. Is this product a good buy? Is it a quality product? What about this merchant? I've never heard of this merchant before. Has anybody ever shopped with them before? Did you receive your product quickly? Was it the one that was advertised? And that sort of occurs a little bit deeper in the forums, which everyone can go into and talk about that. And then once those comments are made and the decisions are made and people choose whether or not to vote it up or down, that's where you're really going to see it hit our front page or homepage. And so that's when it's really this vetted, really strong deal. But yeah, the loyalty either to a brand or to a product, that sort of all gets resolved in our forums before it reaches the majority of our audience.
I love that. It's Google proof. I love that.
It's genuine, right? You saw perhaps with some of the rules and regulations that are coming out about fake reviews. They're really prolific out there. We have quite a number of moderators that have to go through and make sure that these are genuine folks that are typing these comments and are really speaking from the heart about these products, whether or not they've bought it or interacted with it or have some sort of opinion. And so that strength, that trust in our community is really what's setting us apart.
So I have noticed that in our chat over here, we have a lot of people that are representing brands. We have a lot of agencies, brands, reps over in here. So let's talk specifically to them about how the brands, how the agencies can optimize with these different types of sites. What things should they be doing right now? What kind of things can they be doing still for Q4? Dylan?
Yeah, it's a great question. Something that I deal with all the time with more mature affiliate programs I manage, since it's more about optimizing publishers that we already have rather than onboarding new ones, especially in this quarter now. So yeah, keeping the same breakdown of coupon sites, deal sites, and cashback sites, starting with coupon. I think the very first one is super self-explanatory. It's personalized coupon codes. So Honey 50, Slickdeals 10, Forbes 20, etc. It really helps with conversion rates. And it's something that I think across the board, everybody that's in agency kind of could recognize. And if you haven't tested it, please do. It's more personal to the buyers who trust the sites that they're finding the coupons on, which I think is the most important component. If they're reading an article on the top 10, whatever on Forbes, and then they see the coupon code attached to that article for Forbes and they use it, it's just so much more likely that they're going to keep using it and that they're trusting and that they're going to use it. And it's also a good way to kick off relationships with the affiliate managers on that side too. Just offering that coupon code is sometimes a bigger boost to the program than you think, because organic placements happen out of nowhere. I'm sure as we've all experienced at least once, and it's great. It really drives the program far. And I think the second best thing in that within the coupon sites is ensuring that it's a clear and compelling value proposition. That's something that's often overlooked. Descriptions are overlooked. People think that nobody's looking at them. People look at them all the time. And it's so important that they make that clear alongside making the coupon code easy to type. I think that that's something that's often overlooked as well. Make sure the zeros and the O's are very far apart from each other. I think that that's something that I've run into a lot of times that people don't really think about. And the rationale for creating a coupon code, if you have the power to make them yourself, is the easier the better. It's always should be that rationale, which makes a lot of sense, as well as making sure you have limited time offer coupons always set and ready to go. Creating a calendar for holidays is always the best practice, making sure that they're always in the program. Companies like Honey pull them directly from like A1, for example. You got to make sure that they're always in there and that they always have dates, because they get picked up automatically. Sometimes you forget, life gets busy, but if they're already set in that time frame, just set aside a weekend and do it. Trust me, it helps a million times for coupon sites. And then I guess moving on to deal sites, the other effective strategies that I've seen with that is actually bundling deals. It's something that we don't really think about often, and it makes a huge impact. And I guess speaking of impact as well, the contracts on that back end, if you are managing a program through impact, make it so easy to have bundled deals. And it's an idea that a lot of people don't test because there's a lot of lift to it, but it really has shown a lot of incremental spend. When I did test it back in December last year for one of the clients that I had, it boosted AOV by almost 72% for that whole month, just based off of the two products that we had that were bundled together, which is really, really important to do. So if you have time to test that, I really, really am an advocate for that, as well as slashing prices as an incentive for placements on seasonal and mostly event-based promotions too. I think is something that could be done pretty easily if you give the good enough value proposition to the clients, if you are managing an agency. So it could really be done pretty easily by just gathering a calculator and just adding in profit margin, AOV, projected traffic conversion rate, and just overall fees. Again, that's something that I tested in December for a retail client specifically, and it went a long way. So I think that that's really important. And then wrapping up with cashback sites, the thing that I've found being the most incremental for this, I'm sure that we could all attest to this, is CPA increases. It sounds so simple, and it's just one of those things that we don't think about very often, but earnings per click on the publisher side is probably the most important statistic for a lot of them, especially when making lists or just giving placements to different brands. I know just owning my company now, earnings per click is the one thing that we look at, and we'll give premium placement based off of that for the most part for some brands. And it's a small optimization that just goes so far. And as far as offering too, I mean, that's another optimization in itself, just creating that relationship with the company, going back and forth with that. And then I guess very final thing for cashback sites is promotional calendars. So I know I mentioned before for holidays, but the thing that a lot of account managers don't do in agencies is they don't get the promotional calendars internally from those marketing teams. So the example that I have for this is Modify Health is one of my accounts that I manage, and they're a meal delivery company who specializes in very, very specific dietary plans for people. So the thing that I got from them was a calendar that had every single food-based holiday that they really push for. So World Diabetes Day last November was something that I put on the calendar for all these different cashback sites with CPA increases. So I use that in tandem, basically saying that, hey, World Diabetes Day is, I believe it was November 16th. We're going to give you a CPA increase for these dates. Here's some assets for it, and just wait and see what happens. And I did this for every cashback site that we had onboarded, and it turned out really well. And I think that there's crossover for every industry. It's not only food. So I think just giving it a try and just asking is probably the first step for that. But I think all of these are super creative and just a lot of things that help boost the program overall.
Joe, what of those would be persuasive to you? What kinds of things would be something that you would receive from a program manager and say, yeah, that's something we're going to jump on that?
Yeah, so all those are great points that Dylan brought up. Again, there's a couple different components of Slickdeals, so to address maybe them individually. The coupon side of things, definitely exclusive codes or semi-exclusive codes. I know there's a lot of publishers out there, so giving true exclusives can be difficult. But that's something that we can certainly take, and we'll put that right up on the store page. Code with our name in it is fine. If it's a very strong code, that's great. But there is a component of coupon hunting where people like to feel like they found something unique that maybe the advertiser didn't know about, and they really got a great bargain here. So sometimes the coupon code actually performs better if it isn't Slick 20 or whatever it might be, but it's more of a scramble of numbers and letters, and lets that shopper think that they got something there. And of course, I think they know that the code has to be something that the advertiser created, right? Or otherwise it wouldn't actually work in the shopping experience. But they like to think that they found it that way, is one thing that we found. And then on our deal forum, if you can actually give a code like that, we could even comp placements that is either specific to us, that is tied into our commissioning, or an exclusive code for us, something that we could certainly discuss and incentivize advertisers to work with us in that capacity. And then on the deal side too, the point of a promotional calendar is an excellent point, helping our team understand, our deal editors and deal hunters understand what holidays might be coming up and what sales might be coming up. As Dylan noted, if you look at one of those holiday calendars, there's virtually a holiday for every day of the entire year now. So it's hard to keep track of those and what might be relevant to a specific advertiser. So if you reach out and let us know, hey, for our industry, here is an event that actually a lot of our consumers are interested in, they're looking for promotions and we're going to have it. That's helpful for us because obviously we know about Prime Days and Cyber Weeks and Valentine's Day and things like that. But some of the smaller ones, we've been surprised by some of the traffic that's come up. And then on deal sites especially, there might be a way, Slickdeals has one, other sites might have it too, where you can speak directly to the folks that are employed by the company looking for those deals, the deal hunters and the deal specialists. And as a added service, brands might look into that where they can communicate with those folks directly and use it as pricing guidance and say, hey, here's a deal that I think is going to perform very well. Can you give me any tips on this? How's it compare to previous deals? And that's something that can be explored. And then finally, Slickdeals especially is very authentic. You can't buy a spot on the front page, but you can keep it near the top if it naturally reaches the front page through a featured deal, so it doesn't get pushed down chronologically. I think as we're going into Q4, people really need to start planning for this holiday season, right? It's going to be a short holiday season. There's a lot of advertisers like Amazon's hosting another Prime Day in October that are going to try to get out in front of consumers before Cyber Week to capture as many dollars as possible. So start to think about those placement campaigns, start to think about if you have deals that you think are really going to take off, and start to reach out to those deal sites and say, here's what I have. Are there placement opportunities where I might be able to secure additional feature for this, because it's really something special that I want to get out to your audience.
So, Annie, if from the brand side, from the agency side, what kind of analytics would you be looking at with all these different opportunities kind of that Dylan and Joe have been talking about?
It depends on the client and what's important to them, but primarily I'm going to look at who's driving engagement through clicks, obviously revenue, who's driving sales. Sometimes less importantly, AOV, depending on what the offer is that I'm using. I try to switch up the offers seasonally with my clients so that it stays fresh to the consumer. Because if someone's going to Slickdeals or wherever every couple of weeks when they're going shopping, they don't want to see the same deal over and over. Or if I do give a custom code, I will also give other offers that will incentivize them to buy certain categories that are important to the client. So mostly traffic, how much visibility do these offers get or sites get?
So we haven't mentioned commission increases with all of this, and that's it's a difficult thing because you're giving a bigger discount maybe, or a better coupon code or something like that. What role do commission increases play? Do you try to do them in tandem with giving these special bundled offers or codes or something like that? Or do you do the commission increases in lieu of doing special vanity codes or things like that?
No, I will do commission increases for if the publisher is willing to, for increased exposure and inclusions, additional inclusions, as often as they're willing to do it. I'm finding it's less and less popular than it used to be.
Less popular with the brand or with the publisher?
Publisher. They're more and more flat fees or pay to play. And that makes sense if it's, a media type publisher. Like Slickdeals is really conversational and informational that people are going to get. I see it more of a media website where people are learning information.
Dylan, what about on your side in terms of the commission increases or flat rates?
Yeah, I was just about to say flat. It seems to be like the era of flat rate feeds, being like the dominant player in this for pretty much everything. Every optimization, there's always a flat fee optimization that's offered, and then rarely it's CPA increases. But I feel like they always help. Like I said earlier, I think earnings per click is something that's viewed a lot on the publisher side. I know when I used to work on the publisher side very early on, that was the main stat that they looked at for ranking. So I think with coupons as well, CPA increases usually don't help at all. I know with Honey specifically, a lot of it is flat fee. I believe with Slickdeals, it probably might be something similar where there might not be many CPA opportunities there, but I think it always helps. I think it's a good conversation starter for getting initial placements, because being competitive in the space is always kind of the thing that's top of mind with me. So if our commission is so much lower than the next person up, I think it's good to be competitive in line with them so there's a fair shot. But yeah, I think it is kind of the era of flat fees, unfortunately, now.
Right. We've had a couple of questions come in. Go ahead and keep putting questions in there. I'm going to ask a couple more to our panelists, and then we'll start getting into some of the questions that you all are leaving on LinkedIn as well. So go ahead and keep those coming. Brook, let's talk about what has been a really hot topic this last, 4 to 6 weeks or so. All the recent Google changes and what impact those are having on coupon on deal sites, like everything from algorithm changes, AI, the Chrome extension, like everything, kind of just bundle it all together. So you can feel free to kind of break it up or however, but what impact do you think that all these Google changes are now going to have on this entire space?
Oh boy, yeah, big topic. Let me try and rattle it off because there's quite a lot there. The number one thing probably is going to be the site reputation abuse update, which Google announced, I believe, at in April, which was to take effect in May. And that pretty much nuked all of the coupon bolt-ons, like, coupons.cnn.com and so forth. And these are powered by companies like Global Savings Group, Savings United, et cetera. And that was interesting for us. So, just to be clear, in case some people don't get it, like FMTC is not a consumer facing. So we do not compete in any way with Slickdeals. We have nothing that is, customer facing. We're all behind the scenes. And so these sites competed, I guess, basically with our customers. And they did very well, but like they were never the companies that powered them were never direct competitors with us. So we kind of watched as detached observers. And as a detached observer, I gotta say I was surprised because the quality was good. They tended to work with much smaller merchant sets. MDC has about 20,000 plus. These sites maybe a few hundred typically, from what I could tell. Good quality content, curated, nicely displayed. They took advantage of the search rankings, like CNN, for example, would have high domain authority. And so they popped up, and rumor, as sort of semi-validated, was that for these big sites, it was worth tens of millions of dollars over some number of years, possibly tens of millions of dollars in a year. And I've talked firsthand with some of the guys and gals operating. So that was a real head scratcher, because it was sort of like, Google, why now? Why didn't you do it 5 years ago? And nobody, from what I can tell, knows the answer. Now, there's some speculation that Google is sort of preparing the way for getting into the game themselves. That's popped up with Google Chrome, sort of posting more coupons. It's been publicly announced that FMTC has sold data to Google. I'm not at liberty to comment more on that. I think it's just going to be sort of like a wait and see attitude. And it's also worth knowing, so it's not confusing, that YouTube has a separate sub-affiliate network, which they call the YouTube Affiliate Program, which also operates with a smaller subset of merchants, and that helps YouTube creators monetize. So there's a lot going on here. Bing, to sort of step away from Google, has been very actively involved with a good number of affiliates, some sub-affiliate relationships, posting their own coupons. And again, like, if there's somebody out there who's doing this stuff, they're probably buying data from FMTC. Even though we're not at liberty to necessarily share all the names. And so I think that what we're kind of seeing is this crazy sort of mixed up time. And also at the same time they did the site domain abuse, Google had another update which whacked sites like HouseFresh, which did air purifier reviews. So not a coupon site, not a deal site. They were a content review site. So kind of this crazy scandal, and you can follow some of the SEOs on X, Twitter, if you want to see that kind of up close and personal. Reddit was the big winner. And let me kind of cover a couple more topics real quickly. I just kind of want to get everything out there. You also have had like a lot of some AI scandals. So Sports Illustrated had a big scandal because they were buying AI generated content from a company called Commerce, which was also apparently involved with Reviewed by USA Today, which just recently announced they're shutting down Reviewed, which is quite a shocker to me. I just checked their stats on SimilarWeb traffic. They're doing quite well. So kind of waiting for some more information to come out there, but a lot of chaos and churn in our space. And to kind of wrap it all up, it seems to me that Google is kind of vulnerable in terms of a traffic segmentation. So most of us, Dylan, probably not you, some of us are older, remember Alta Vista and all the sort of like the Yahoo and all these things that were prior to the search engines. And then Google just came and ate everybody's lunch over the whole world. And you got like Bing out there, you got DuckDuckGo, Brave's got their search engine, and they got these small but meaningful market shares because the market's so big. But now you have these other kind of up and coming players, right? So a lot of people use Reddit as the search engine. And of course, Google is exclusively getting the Reddit results. Well, I don't know if that's the best idea for Google, but that's kind of out there now. You also have TikTok is used as a search engine. Meta's kind of apparently throwing their hat into the ring. And then you have Perplexity.ai and you have SearchGPT newly kind of announced. And so I'm a big user of Perplexity.ai, which just announced they're going to try and start to monetize. I'm hoping they're using an affiliate. I have a blurb and a short essay coming out about this tomorrow. And so for all the sort of Sturm and Drang going on in the affiliate space, I think there might be a silver lining, because I think the search marketplace might be fragmented, not tomorrow, but like maybe 6 to 12 months from now, especially if Google is broken up. They've been found as a monopoly with the search, because they've been sort of taking all the oxygen out of the room with their distribution, most famously, buying up all of Apple's traffic for $20 billion a year, and some other providers too. So and then there's another trial with the sort of like the programmatic ad marketplace coming out next month, and some people are conjecturing that like they might sort of preemptively break themselves up. So again, a lot going on here. This gets away from the coupon and deal space a little bit, but just kind of bring it all back together. There's a huge value for these coupon deal cashback sites. Customers love them. That is not going to change. How are customers going to access these sites? I think that they are soon to have more pathways, even if recent events have caused a bit of turmoil and seen a lot of traffic disappear. So I would say, hang on, everybody. I think the future is going to be better, and the present is, at least for most of these guys, still manageable.
You touched on Chrome briefly. So James Little had posted on, I think on LinkedIn, maybe early this morning, a little bit more about the new Chrome, I guess new, I think they're just pushing it more, the Chrome extension that offers up some of these types of things. In fact, my daughter, who is a other loyalty user than Sunshine Rewards, uses somebody else because they have a toolbar that she uses. She actually said to me one day when she updated her Chrome and she got that, she messaged me and she said, oh, so is this new Chrome thing basically just like having honey built in to my Chrome now? And it was like, kind of. That's kind of a good way of putting it. Yeah, if you upgrade your Chrome and you get this added to it, it is just popping up a coupon for you, or maybe an easy way to get coupons. So I think there is that question whether, if Chrome is going to have the coupons built into it, what impact does that have specifically on just the coupon sites, not necessarily on the cashback, not necessarily on the deal sites, but also to me, like, what's the interplay going to be with commissions? So if somebody is on Slickdeals and somebody mentions a really good deal and they go to that page, but then they do have Chrome and that pops up, what's happening with commissions? Is Google getting some kind of commission there that then negates that publisher commission? Or is this something totally outside of affiliate that isn't going to impact the commissions, but it's still going to impact for the brand, how much money they're making off of that sale? Dylan, did you want to add something?
Yeah, Google has made no announcements, so it's going to be kind of a wait and see. Bing has done this with affiliate and gotten some pretty good traction with it. It makes a lot of sense. So if Google giveth, Google also taketh away. And so, going back to the point you made earlier about sort of Slickdeals in the community, if you're an affiliate, you got to sort of be a little bit agile. You got to be ready to buy your traffic. Google's not giving away too much traffic, and you want to consolidate your community. You want to be doing the social stuff. You want to be doing the email stuff. And I think that there is, a pathway there because, again, the marketplace is quite large, and if you have cashback, especially, it's very sticky. And so Google could be a competitor. My hunch is that Google's not going to be enough competitor where like Google Maps wipes out MapQuest or comparison shopping, unless there's like a legal protection as there is in Europe. And so my suspicion is that they're going to be able to sort of get limited penetration, but that is frankly just a guess on my part. I'm not sharing any sort of privileged information there. And I certainly, I think the ecosystem is very healthy and robust at this point, and will be able to sort of withstand any traffic bleed.
Dylan, did you have something to add?
Mostly just echoing the same sentiment with Google. I think that there's been so many different things, like with that last SEO update, seeing a lot of like the very natural blogs that were posting very highly for reviews that were affiliate-based companies. Now it's pretty dominated by Forbes and the large companies. And something I noticed too is their free cash flow is down 50% year over year. So it wouldn't shock me if they wanted to make a decision like this to kind of mirror Bing. I know Bing from the agency side, when I used to manage more retail publishers, now it's more B2B. But that was always pretty much the very first step for just onboarding companies was go to Bing immediately. They're going to give you a ton of traffic. They're going to give you a lot of affiliate traffic. So I really wouldn't be shocked if Google tried to do something similar because, what they did to review sites with the whole site reputation SEO change was really kind of reflective. And I think it could be a possibility in the future. And if it is, it's going to be pretty interesting, but just want to put that out there.
And we didn't even mention the Google AI in terms of AI itself, the AI generated search results with now people kind of like I can ask like what day is Easter next year, and I don't have to click on a site anymore that gives me a calendar. Now I just say like, how can I save money at Fanatics? And it says use Fanatics 10 and you get 10% off without having to click on anything or go anywhere else. So we don't know what's going to happen with that still in the future as well. I did have some interesting questions come in, so I do want to toss a few of these out to you as long as we have time. First of all, how does buy now, pay later impact all of these business models?
Well, I know for Slickdeals, they play in a little bit of a different space. So the Slickdeals audience primarily is a very wealthy audience because they're window shopping. It might not be too intuitive when you think of a deal site, right? That people are looking, maybe they're really worried about their next rent payment or something, and they're looking to save some money. But it's actually the exact opposite. They're seeing a TV that's $1,000, now it's $800, but that deal is only going to be lasting for 24 hours, say. So they need $800 to jump on that, and then they grab that purchase. And so that skews us to have a household income generally of over $250,000. I can't say for sure for the buy now, pay later. Maybe I'd be surprised too about who their audience is. I don't work there, but my guess is that it's folks looking to chop that up into 4 payments, or however many payments are offered. And so a little bit different of an audience, more than likely to look at those big purchases.
Do you, on the agency side, Annie or Dylan, have any feedback in terms of how you're working with the buy now, pay laters, and how is there an overlap with coupons and deals there at all?
I personally don't see the overlap. I look at them more on my higher ticket items, whether it's patio furniture or, electronics, where people might need, they want it now. They don't always have the money in the bank, so they'll break it into, it allows them to buy it now.
Yeah, and personally on mine, I haven't worked with any buy now, pay later companies yet. I moved to B2B for the most part in the past year, so I haven't had the opportunity to, but I would really like to. I think it makes a lot of sense with coupon and deals in terms of just like the audience. People are trying to find a deal. I think it makes sense within the flow that some of them could be users of it, but yeah, unfortunately haven't worked with any of them so far.
And we do know that some of the big credit card companies are not allowing buy now, pay later because they're kind of wanting to push people into their own types of products more along those lines. So for people that are looking to stack deals, who want to use their credit card deal to buy something because they want to get mileage or the points, they may not even be able to use the buy now, pay later. So they may just be looking for the best deal plus using the credit card because they're trying to stack points, which would kind of be more along the lines with Joe was saying, people that are a little in that little higher income bracket that are do the kind of point stacking miles, those kinds of things are not using the buy now, pay later anyway. So we shall see. We, in our last industry survey that we did for the PMA, buy now, pay later was still very small. I think it was like 1% or something like that in that study. So it'll be interesting to see after the first of next year, when we're doing an updated survey, how that number has changed. And that might give us a little bit more insight too into whether we can expect to see any overlap with that in the next couple of years. Another question, how can coupon deal cashback sites add value to a program that is highly focused on content? So you're a brand that really wants to work with content sites, you're really focused on content. What can the coupon slash deal slash cashback, what can those types of sites do to add value to those programs?
I'd like to take this one. I work with coupon, cashback, and content. And as I explain it to my clients, is content is getting your brand out there. It's in this channel, I do a lot of paid media, but PR companies, if your brand team is working with a PR agency, they're doing earned media, and you're just getting the name of the brand out there to new consumers who may not have considered making a purchase or knew about the brand. If it's a high ticket item or not an everyday item, something that they want but may not need, it's good to have presence in as many places as you can without devaluing your brand. So you want to have, a handful of trusted coupon sites, but you also, in my opinion, want to be on as many loyalty sites as you can, because you may have your target consumer who's of a certain demographic. You're also going to have consumers or halo consumers that fall outside that demographic. And if you can have representation in all these different spaces where the consumer may be repeatedly, she may learn about you in a content site and then go look for a coupon or go to her loyalty shopping site. And you want to get your brand out there so that what is the old adage? You have to hear about a brand 7 times before you make a purchase. So work together, not against each other.
And I think Brook I agree with everything he said, and Brook raised a great point, right, about search engines. And it's not always just Google and Bing and Yahoo now, something we see on our own site, where people are coming and they're using these search bars found on these platforms to find products or find brands, or maybe they're going to a loyalty site and they're simply using the filters to sort by highest amount of cash back for a category. And they've never seen this brand before, but it's offering 20% cash back. Well, now they're going to go through and they're going to poke around. And so not being on these platforms, you're being excluded from that conversation, from that search, and you're missing out on those potential sales.
Yeah.
Oh,
Sorry.
go ahead.
No, it's all you.
Well, Joe mentioned something earlier in the call that, it wasn't quite this language, but the affiliates that effectively act as trust agents, and that should not be overlooked. And before the call wraps up, a point I really want to make is, if you are a merchant, a retailer, you're probably competing with Amazon. And Amazon works very actively with the deal and the coupon sites. Interestingly, not with the cashback sites, except for their subscription programs, which might be a luxury they have that you don't have. So for my 2 cents, you are crazy not to actively engage, to what Annie just made, with these partners in any way possible. And keep in mind that if you're on the merchant side, you have incredible control and elasticity over the value exchange in a way you don't have with any other channel, not with the open web programmatic, not with the walled gardens, et cetera, et cetera. You can customize very specific commissions under very specific circumstances. It behooves you to figure out what that value is for you, and then to negotiate it with your counterparty.
Dylan, you wanted to add?
Yeah, just in terms of just how coupon loyalty sites could add value to a program that's super kind of focusing content. I think that's a good avenue for content, is kind of how I found a lot of the brands that I work with personally. So kind of the route that I found was, a lot of the companies I had don't have flat fee opportunities. They won't pay a flat fee to get in an article. But for example, like CNET had this great article of the best meal delivery deals of August, say. So we actually use our coupon as an in to get into that initial article, and then we use it to prove our conversion rate, our value to them. And through that, we were actually able to get placements in other articles from them, starting at the very bottom of the list. But it was all done through the coupon and deal, rather than just giving them the flat fee for content, which I thought was super interesting, because it proved out that people in the market like them. And not only that, but it was all through coupon and deal with no flat fee, which was really good for ROAS, and was something that I look back at today as a big win, and kind of how I look at a lot of retail partners. Fortunately, don't work with a lot of retail partners now, but something that I used to do pretty often was try to see if any of these large companies had a deal article, work my way into that, and then kind of try to go through content.
One last kind of related question. So how can a brand that's not promotional even work with a coupon and deal site? So they never run coupons, they never run, free shipping offers, things like that. How do they have any chance at all to work with a site like you, Joe?
Yeah, so that's a great question. So we have tried many things in the past to try to get brands that are relevant to our audience in front of our audience. And so we have a content site called daily.slickdeals.net, where we were posting articles. Well, hey, this product isn't on sale, but everybody's working from home, during the height of COVID, and this is a great office desk. You might still want to consider it, right? That doesn't get as much content as it did during those COVID years when everybody was working from home. But now, we're more focused on our deal site. So we do see products that are hard to find, that are high quality, making it to our front page from time to time. But it's really just case by case, and it's something that we can have a conversation with that advertiser to help explore through conversations with our deal specialists if they wish. Or if they just want to get in front of our audience, what we've done is we do have impression-based ad buys now on the side of the site. So if you go to Slickdeals, you can see on the right rail, and you know, those are generally powered by Google, but if you want to buy a certain number of impressions and put your specific ad, and that's not only for products that might not have a deal, but it's also products that generally aren't found in affiliate programs. You know, so sometimes we'll be approached by, you know, Toyota or something, generally not having a, you know, a commission-based program for cars, but they can talk about, you know, the new Camry or whatever and buy a display ad and put it right there on their site.
Any other thoughts from those of you on the other side of what you might try? I would say as a publisher, I have a very niche loyalty with my cashback site that are all Disney fans. Probably couldn't tell from all the stuff in the background, but because of that, I will promote Disney products sometimes that are not on sale. But it might just be because this is something that I know that like every single Disney fan wants this product. It's not on sale, but if you don't buy it today, they're probably going to sell these things out. So that may be kind of urgency plus niche kind of thing. And I know there are a lot of other deal specific sites, whether it's cashback or just deals for like people only wanting athletic stuff or people who are pet owners or things like that, where there might be some opportunities on those sites because their audiences are a little bit more niche than kind of a general deal or a coupon site as well. All right. Well, I think we've made it through all of our questions and just in time as we're wrapping up here. Really quickly, I want to just go around and have each of you mention where people can find you or get in touch with you, whether it's through LinkedIn, email, your websites, whatever contact information you would like to share. Brooke.
Yeah, so LinkedIn is definitely best for me. Just I think you can see my name spelled there, BROOKSCHAAF, and FMTC is just fmtc.co.
Dylan.
Agreed. LinkedIn's probably the best way. Feel free to just connect, add everybody back, and then yeah, feel free to message me, anything like that. Yeah, definitely think that that's the best way.
So, Joe.
Yeah, LinkedIn works, or you can email me. It's just my name, joseph.coyle@slickdeals.net, or you can do joe.coyle@slickdeals.net, whichever you prefer. I'm happy to help direct anybody that wants to do more at Slickdeals.
Annie.
LinkedIn is probably the best place to reach me, or email. My email is annie@simpl-ecommerce.com.
Perfect. And you can find me also on LinkedIn most of the time, which is funny that we've all like over time, it feels like everybody's now migrating to find me on LinkedIn, but also Tricia at thepma.org. Please keep an eye on what the PMA is doing because we are not finished with all of this. Dylan and the Coupons Council is going to be releasing that benefits of coupons and deals white paper again pretty soon. Also kind of related to this, we're going to have a Q4 planning webinar that's going to be on September 13th, I believe. And then as a follow-up to some of the things we talked about in terms of the data that we had from the industry survey, we're going to be having another webinar in October for some survey results that we recently did with brands and agencies that will also touch on kind of percentage of spend that is going to different types of sites and breaking out coupon sites to see if we're seeing any differences from the last time that we did that industry survey. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you, Annie, to Simpl-eCommerce for sponsoring us today. For those of you who missed any of this, you can always catch the replays on LinkedIn. We're also putting them on our YouTube channel, and we'll be doing a summary on our website about this entire thing as well. Please feel free to connect on LinkedIn with all of our panelists. We'll have all of you go in after this if you have a minute, please, and interact with some of the people that were on there who would like to reach out to all of you as well. So thank you all so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.